Welcome everybody to Cheap Pops. What is going on? Oh, I guess the ruler's here. Oh, and people are falling off on the table. Well, welcome to the show that focuses mainly on wrestling, but also talks movies, video games, all kinds of stuff. A lot has happened since our last episode. Our last episode being our Insane Clown Posse episode, by the way. Whoop, whoop. And I was talking to Zoe, who from Australia, who didn't know who ICP was, and said our show was very informative. So that makes me happy. There's a lot to talk about. All this wrestling that we're going to talk about, aside from his Knicks picks, was on one whole weekend.
Yeah.
And it was a lot to watch as a wrestling fan, but and as he usually likes to talk about behind the hard camera right now, we have a couple matches from Forbidden Door, and we're going to be talking about Forbidden Door. But first, WWE Night of Champions. I watched this on ESPN. The good thing about watching it a day later on ESPN is you don't get any of the ads. At least I don't. Not the same for Netflix, you know. Although, if I watch a WWE event or like Raw or something on Netflix on my Roku, I get ads. But if I watch it on my regular TV, I don't get ads. It's really weird. Like I don't understand why I get the ads on Roku. But did you watch any of this event from Saudi Arabia?
I watched bits and pieces on Facebook.
The King of the Ring finals, Jey Uso versus Oba Femi. I mean, going into this match, I kind of figured who was going to win. Like, it was going to be Oba Femi.
Why the fuck would you want Jey?
Yeah, like...
I am completely over...
Yeah, it's kind of... But, I mean, I love his entrance music. Like, his entrance music gets me hyped up every time, but... I love the huge set with the huge video, walls and all that stuff. It makes me think of what we're going to talk about in your Knicks picks, the different sets for every event.
Yeah,
it made the atmosphere so much different. And now that the Saudi Arabia crowds are used to wrestling and they know who the characters are and stuff, I'm glad that they're embracing it. Because you watch the first couple. Go back and watch the first couple Saudi Arabia shows. It was mostly like the sheiks or whatever, that with the regular garb, and they were all sitting in the front row. Now it's actual wrestling fans that are in the crowd. Yeah.
Yes.
Because the first couple ones, they didn't know how to react to anybody in those first few shows. But crowd was really into both Jey and Oba. I mean, the crowd loves to yeet, and like in your entrance, the crowd loves to do the walk and the chant Oba and all that stuff, which is great. I mean, Oba Femi, he's killing it, in my opinion. Did you notice, if you watched any of this, the announcers, the sound for the announcers was shit? Like, I don't know what was wrong with their microphones, but it was really bad. Like, WWE usually does not make that mistake and does not have that mistake for their entire show. Like, it went through the entire show. They didn't have extra headsets. Like when back in the day, JR and King, if like their announce set got destroyed,
yeah, they
had
an extra set constantly.
Yeah, like I don't get it. That's one thing that I don't get. But the match went longer than I thought it would. Like, you got to stop having Jey Uso have long matches. it just ain't there. No. And I was talking about this with a buddy of mine. I feel bad for Jimmy Uso.
Yeah,
Jimmy Uso is way better than Jey Uso on the mic. I think I'm not saying he deserves more than Jey. Jey hustled. Jey, changed his character up, and he deserves everything he's getting. But I feel bad for Jimmy because Jimmy's never going to get that. He's never going to get to that point, and it's sad.
It is sad.
But Oba Femi wins, and now he's King of the Ring. We'll talk more about that later. The Queen of the Ring final, Liv Morgan versus Io Sky. I really like this match. Liv Morgan has really stepped up her game, and Io Sky is always good. The whole pointing to her head thing, it was funny at first, But now it's just kind of like, she does it all the time now, which is kind of, I don't know. The crowd was extremely into it, and Io Sky won. And then she goes and she picks Liv Morgan for SummerSlam. So she's picking the one that she just beat to...
I want to... Why was Liv Morgan in it anyway, being that she's world champ?
Like, why couldn't you have done Roxanne Perez or Raquel Rodriguez from the Judgment Day?
Right.
Like, have her say, I beat your heater, Raquel, or I beat Roxanne, a member of the Judgment Day. Now I'm ready for you.
Really?
It just, yeah. But, so it's going to be Io against Liv Morgan at SummerSlam. And then steel cage match. Seth freaking Rollins versus Braun Breaker in a cage. And what's the first thing that happens as soon as Seth Rollins goes out to the cage?
I did not watch
He
it.
throws a shitload of weapons in the ring. And this is one of the things that I agree with Jim Cornette on. You're in a fucking cage.
Use it for a fucking
Exactly. Like, or one kendo stick, one chair. You do not need 5 chairs, 3 kendo sticks, and 4 tables. Like, you just don't.
If you're gonna fucking do it, why make it a cage match? Just make it a fucking Hell in a Cell.
Right. But even that, the Hell in a Cell, they have all this space around the ring, and they want to put tables up there. Now, we have, the AEW cage match right now, and they put, weapons in that one. And I think that's dumb, too. There was some entertaining stuff with the weapons, but it's a cage match. You're supposed to use the cage. I mean, at least in my opinion.
I love the look of the fucking cage, though.
Right. Thought it was a really good match. I mean, Seth Rollins on pay-per-view, he's going to put the work in, and Breaker's just a friggin' beast. So, I mean...
in my opinion, I disagree on the outcome of the match.
Yeah, I agree. Breaker should have won. The Rollins did not need that win.
No.
It's going into a match with him against Roman Reigns for the title at SummerSlam, but
I don't want to see him have a championship match. If anything, it should be fucking Braun Breaker.
Yep.
You strap the fucking rocket to Jay, and I know you get sick and tired of me saying it. Why not Braun Breaker?
Yeah, I mean, I don't get it. I mean, I think Braun Breaker definitely should be getting that spot.
Oh, definitely.
I don't know if they're going to save it for the Saudi Arabia WrestleMania but Rollins won with an avalanche stomp, so yeah. The U.S. title, I actually really enjoyed this match. Trick Williams with Little Yachty versus Ricky Saints. Thought it was really, really good. Trick Williams retained the U.S. title. I have to admit, though, the other day I was sitting there thinking, I'm like, trying to think of the champions in my head, and I'm just like, who the hell is the U.S. champion? And, like, I didn't have my phone, so I couldn't really Google it, and I'm just like, who the... And then finally I grab my phone and I look and I'm like, oh, it's Trick. But, like, they have so many champions. It's the same with AEW. They have so many champions. I have a hard time...
I can't even keep up with some of the current champions for the WWE 2K26.
Right. My thing is like Sol Ruka's the women's Intercontinental Champion. You can stop saying that. Just say Intercontinental Champion. If I see a blonde with her thong sticking out, I can figure out she's a woman. You don't need to say Women's Intercontinental Champion anymore.
Really?
I can figure out that there's 2 Intercontinental Champions. I can figure out there's 2 U.S. Champions. It's really not that fucking hard.
No.
It makes it seem less than, in my opinion. When they say this is a women's match, just say it's a fucking match. You don't need to, I can figure it out. Like, I can see when Rhea Ripley's walking down, it's not like in the Attitude Era where I didn't know, who, China was going to be wrestling, because she wasn't going to be wrestling the women,
Right.
But it's just so stupid to me. It's like, it seems like WWE gets into those modes where they think they have to announce certain things that they really, really don't. I don't get it.
It's annoying as fuck.
It really is. They're going with Trick Williams. Like, he's going to be one of the next guys on SmackDown. Ricky Saints, I think, should be too. He's a really good promo, and he's really good in the ring. They have a lot of talent. That's the thing. They have so many people in WWE. But they're releasing people. I was going to talk about this later. Sheamus is leaving. And I understand why. they want them to take pay cuts when they're making the most money they've ever made. That makes no sense.
No.
And I get it. Sheamus is an older guy. He's not drawing money. He's probably not selling a lot of merch. But, you know, and I wouldn't be surprised if AEW snatches him up, put him with Claudio again. We have the Bar as a tag team again, and AEW really needs tag teams right now. So, and he can sell merch. I mean, not as much. I mean, he might actually sell more in AEW than he did in WWE.
Right. I got one thing to say from the AEW behind the hard cam. What's in the bag?
Yeah.
Because they got a shit ton of bags going on.
Yeah. For the U.S. title, Jade Cargill versus Tiffany Stratton. I'm not gonna lie, I fast forwarded through a lot of it. It's not that I don't like women's matches, but WWE pay-per-views, some of them are getting to be a slog to get through. And I just and when I was a kid, I watched every match because I still do. I love wrestling, but it comes a point where I can't watch every match. I can't. It just,
right.
I mean, in this weekend alone, there was four big events. Like, that's a lot to watch, and even just to prepare for this show, like that's a lot of hours out of your life to just watch every match. And Chelsea Green came from under the ring and attacked B-Fab and Michin. Charlotte Flair came out, hit Jade with the belt, and Tiffany Stratton retained. So I think at SummerSlam it's going to be Charlotte Flair against Jade Cargill, or they're going to do like a multi-woman match, which is whatever, like a 6-woman tag or whatever, But the main event, the WWE title, Sami Zayn versus Gunther versus Cody Rhodes. Thought it was a good triple threat match. I think Gunther laid out most of this match because it was actually really good. Great psychology with Sami doing everything he can to thwart the others from winning. And he beat Cody with a roll-up. So new WWE champion Sami Zayn. And it's gone.
Yep.
9 days later, Sami Zayn is no longer WWE champion because who became the WWE champion?
CM Punk.
The man on Battle Cat, and this is an original Battle Cat right now. I would have done CM Punk, and it was in Chicago. Cody Rhodes was getting stale. And Sami Zayn was never going to be anything other than a transitional champion.
Yeah.
If you thought he was going to get a long run with the title, you haven't been watching wrestling very long. I'm sorry.
And I love how people forget that Mick, we love Mick Foley. Mm-hmm. He was only champion, 2 days after it was SummerSlam.
He was a transitional champion every time.
Yes.
Like he wasn't champion for more than a month every time he won it. We got new World Tag Team Champions because Maxine Dupree gave a low blow to Angelo Dawkins of the Street Profits. New WWE champ. It's going to be Oba Femi versus Brock Lesnar, Hell in a Cell at SummerSlam. Now
I'm kind of interested in that.
I am too. I wish I had talked about this on the show. Oh, that's so... We're going to talk about that in the review. But I said to a buddy of mine when I started my new job, I said, Lesnar's going to screw Oba Femi out of the title match, and he's going to lose the King of the Ring final, and then they're going to do Hell in a Cell. Or, it's going to be Oba Femi versus Brock at SummerSlam, and then they're going to do Hell in a Cell later. I was right about Hell in a Cell. I was wrong about when they're going to do it. I mean, and I think that's going to be a badass match. I hope they do not put any weapons in the ring because you've got Brock Lesnar, who's a walking weapon, and then you've got
Oba Femi, who is basically a walking fucking weapon.
Exactly. Too. So, I don't... But, so you got a lot of stuff going on with WWE right now. People leaving, people coming. And that's the thing is they have all this money and they're releasing people, but they keep signing people to NXT.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it. They need to build for the future, but
still,
I still say this: they're they're squeezing all the money they can out of WWE to pay off TKO's debt, and then they're going to sell the company to Saudi Arabia. Because TKO is like meddling in the story, the storylines and stuff, and who they want on top, and it just, the NXT Great American Bash was on TV. Hearing Wade Barrett instead of Booker T on commentary was tremendous. God. It made this so much more watchable than NXT usually is with Booker T on. And then Zoe, she was really funny. She likes messing with me. She goes, "Oh yeah, Booker T re-signed and he's going to be on the head commentator on Raw now. He's replacing Michael Cole." She does that shit just to wind me up. It's kind of funny because she knows how much I hate Booker T. And I've met Booker T. Nice dude, but not on commentary.
We both met Booker.
Yeah. The NXT title started out tonight. Tony D'Angelo versus Nuraku. Nuraku was evil in New Japan and married to Io Sky, by the way. Good opener. Tony D retained the NXT title. The women's North American title, Tatum Paxley versus Zarya. Thought it was a really, really good match. The women's division in NXT always delivers, in my opinion. I gotta say this, and I don't care how it makes me sound. Tatum Paxley was wearing like a schoolgirl outfit, and fuck, she looked good. I'm sorry.
You creep.
I'm not, but I'm just, like, I'm sorry. Like, she's a good-looking woman, and she's wearing a schoolgirl outfit. Like, she knew what she was doing, is all I'm saying. Have you noticed, I'm just saying this, I don't know if they're encouraging it, but the women are dressing a lot different in WWE than they used to. Like, this is not the PG era anymore. Like,
no.
Liv Morgan is wearing, like, the short shorts all the time.
Yes.
Sol Ruka's got the thong showing like Lita. Lola Vice on this week's episode of NXT, which I didn't watch it, I saw a clip. She's got, like, see-through, like, pants, but only the front is not see-through. Like, some of the stuff that they're wearing now, like, I'm surprised they don't fall out of it and not complaining. It seems like, I've said this before, Bruno Sammartino dies, and now all of a sudden they're changing everything they're doing. They're going edgier. But when they wanted him in the Hall of Fame, they changed everything so that it would please him. And then once he died, they're starting to swear, and they're starting to do all kinds of stuff. It's really weird to me. Like, it just seems like that to me, but whatever.
I'm not complaining. I love, how much I love the older era.
Yeah. Zarya retained. Shiloh Hill versus Tristan Angels. I didn't care about this match. Shiloh wins. There's a lot of people in NXT that I'm fast forwarding through. I just don't. I don't care. I don't. Like, I'm not gonna go back and watch a Maven match. No offense to Maven, but I'm not gonna go back and watch a Maven match from 2004 on a Raw. It's right. Women's speed title, Ariana Grace versus Ren Sinclair. The thing is, like, it's a 5-minute match, and the lights change when it gets to a certain point in the match, with so much time left. Grace tapped out with 13 seconds left, so Ren Sinclair retained the title. Saquon Sugars versus Dion Lennox.
Wait, what?
Yeah. Members of Shaquan used to be in Dark State. Dion Lennox is like the leader of Dark State. The names. It's like they took a baby book, a book of baby names, and like looked through and just, we need 2 S's, so that's what we're gonna go with. Very athletic match. Sugars wins, and then Dark State attacks him after the match, so they got their heat back. And North American title, Miles Bourne versus Tavion Heights. Another very athletic match. They got athletic people in NXT. I mean, they're going for all these, like, football and all these athletes. Bourne retained. I wrote, this is the only match I cared about. Women's title, Lola Vice versus Kendall Gray. If you don't know who Kendall Gray is, this woman is Kurt Angle but a female. I'm sorry. She is so amazing, and everything she does feels like she's been wrestling professionally for 10 years. She knows exactly what to do, when to do it. Unlike a lot, I'm not, don't in WWE or NXT don't know what to do, but when you watch, it's natural with her. And Lola Vice is great as well. Non-stop action, submission attempts. Kendall Gray had like Kurt Angle inspired attire. She even wore one of the hooded jackets like he wore in TNA, which he didn't wear in WWE for very long. Like, he didn't start out wearing the hooded jackets in WWE. He wore them more in TNA, so I like her attention to detail on that. Yes. It's really cool. And she pulls down the straps just like him. And it's so good. Kendall Gray won, new NXT Women's Champ. I wouldn't be surprised if Lola Vice gets called up because she's been doing a lot in AAA. And now her boyfriend, Damian Priest, is in AAA now, too, which is cool. And I think he'll do better in AAA because I think his character translates more to AAA than in WWE.
I will say this is a lot of the WWE stars that went over to AAA are being used a lot fucking better than they are in the main roster.
Right, and we do need to review AAA more because I really enjoy that product.
I have to say...
There's just so much to watch. I'm sorry.
Yes. I have to say that Undertaker and Rey Mysterio have been doing a fantastic job.
Yeah, who knew Undertaker could actually be a good booker?
Right?
I mean, he doesn't make good decisions on who to do his podcast with, but, you know... I guess, whatever, but... We've gotten more use out of that sign than anything we've done for this show. I have to admit, though, you picked something really good.
I have to start by saying, who is that guy?
Yeah, we're definitely going to talk about that. Survivor Series 2006, and the first thing I wrote, the unique set, the pyro, the upbeat rock music. Can we please go back to this? Now, I know rock music's not for everybody, but the hip-hop, and I like hip-hop, don't get me wrong, but the rock music sets up the paper. It gets your adrenaline pumping.
It gets the people going.
It feels different. I don't know. They're still doing the whole showing everybody walking in, and at the beginning of the show, I liked it better when they did the opening video package and then they got right into the show with the pyro and the music. I think it sets it up so much better.
Yes.
But the announced teams, JBL and Michael Cole for SmackDown, King and JR for Raw. Do you remember what the first match was?
I know it was Rick and... Fuck, I can't remember.
Ric Flair, Sergeant Slaughter, Dusty Rhodes, and Ron Simmons with Arn Anderson on the outside versus the Spirit Squad. Kenny, Mikey, Mitch, Nikki, and Johnny.
And we are the Spirit Squad.
And I've met 2 members of the Spirit Squad, but I'm going to get to that. Not a technical classic, but entertaining. I mean, everybody on that team, the one team, were pretty much past their prime. Even Ric Flair, he wrestled for another 2 years. Those matches were the same matches every time he got in the ring. He was throwing a lot of chops in 2006.
Still my favorite era of Rick, besides WCW, is 2003 Rick. Especially the manager Rick.
Yeah, he was really good. Spirit Squad didn't last long after this. Kenny became really the only one that they went with. Unless you count Nick Nemeth, who became Dolph Ziggler, who had a long-lasting career, but it took a while to get to that point. Flair, sole survivor after a figure 4. Then the U.S. title, Chris Benoit versus Chavo Guerrero. I completely forgot about this match. Benoit retained. I'm not good at watching Benoit's matches anymore. I mean, certain ones I will, but like Benoit against Chavo Guerrero, like...
My 2 favorites always watching Chris Benoit work with. I don't know if he got a single match with Shawn Michaels, but always Kurt Angle and Eddie Guerrero.
Yeah. I don't know if Benoit ever wrestled Shawn Michaels in a singles match. I don't think so. But I didn't. I'm sure it was a good match. I mean, I've never really been a big fan of Chavo, but it's like I've said, it's hard to go and watch Benoit matches sometimes. It just really isn't, especially when It's Benoit and Chavo for the U.S. title in 2006. Like, I have no interest in watching it.
Another great match is that he had Booker T. Him and Booker.
Yeah, Benoit and Booker, especially their series in WCW, was really, really good.
Yes.
Back before Booker got on commentary, but that's another issue. And then they do a backstage segment with like Lita and Edge, and they're interviewing Edge, and then he leaves, and then I think it's Todd Grisham talks to Lita, and while they're talking, Crime Time sneaks into Lita's dressing room, and then after she leaves, they come out with a box, and they say to Todd Grisham, "You didn't see nothing,"
You didn't see nothing.
Which their tag team name is Crime Time. They're two black guys, and they're stealing stuff. Like, you're playing into stereotypes. If you didn't know what kind of person Vince McMahon was, that's pretty much all you need to know in one segment, isn't it?
Really?
The women's title, Lita's final match in WWE. Mickie James versus Lita. Lita coming in as women's champion. Mickie James wins the title. And it was a good match. I mean, Lita was pretty much done at this point. She was done.
I will say she did the same thing what Trish did. They got out before it took a complete toll on their bodies.
Yeah, that's true. And Lita had already had the broken neck, so...
Yes.
And then afterwards, Crime Time comes out and interrupts Lita doing her promo. And they're going to have a wholesale, and they sell her stuff off, like, they have, like, Monistat and, a box of they sell her bra, and then, like, they sell her panties to JBL, and then, like, they have a toy and a sock, and, and she says she's going to buy it, and then they sell it to a fan. And, she says how disrespectful it is. Not, it was an interesting way for Lita to leave, but... and then the main match, the match that I loved the most, the Hardys with CM Punk and DX against Rated RKO, which is Randy Orton and Edge, Mike Knox, Gregory Helms, and Johnny Nitro, with Kelly and Melina on the outside.
And I love Melina being on the outside.
Yeah.
Because of one moment.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that. Biggest reactions for CM Punk. The whole crowd chanted his name, and Triple H had to, acknowledge it, which is great. So what happened at the beginning of the match?
Mike Knox got eliminated like that.
Yep. Triple H got Kelly to get up on the ring apron because she was an exhibitionist, so she was going to take off her top. And Mike Knox got in the way. Shawn Michaels hits a super kick. He looks at the referee and goes, like, did you ring the bell? And the ref's like, yep. And
he's like, okay.
Covers him instantly, and then Mike Knox is eliminated. He goes over to the corner and he goes, who was that?
Who was that?
And then Triple H goes, Mike Knox. And he goes, was he in the match, though? And Triple H goes, yeah, he was in the match. And Shawn Michaels is like, oh, so we're good then. We're doing good then, Yeah, so it was classic DX 2006 Shawn Michaels comedy.
We got to do a deep dive into DX of the summer of DX.
Yeah, we really do. And then it turns out to be Johnny Nitro comes in next. He does a crisscross with with Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels slides out of the ring, puts his arm around Melina, and she acts like it's Nitro and they're posing for pictures.
They look.
Yeah, and it's just really good stuff. Like, if I could ever get a good 8x10, I wish I had an 8x10 of Shawn Michaels with his arm around Melina, because I met Melina once. And I met Shawn Michaels, so it would have been cool to have that 8x10 of both of them signed. But Team DX picks to shut out. They eliminated everybody. And King said, we need to check the records. I think this is the first time that there's ever been the whole team, it's like, King, you've been in WWE for 13 years at this. Yeah, 13 years at that point. Like, you don't know?
Really?
Come on. It's just And then there's people on the headsets. They can't correct him and, be like, oh, no. Have JR say, oh, no, in 1990, the Visionaries, were the first team to pitch a shutout, just little stuff like that. First Blood, Mr. Kennedy versus The Undertaker.
Oh, this was such a great feud.
It really was. And 2006, 2007 Undertaker, I think was really, really good. Like, I don't think he had a bad era. Well, maybe, when they went to Saudi Arabia and, stuff like that. But, you go from the Dead Man to the American Badass to
Big Evil.
Yeah, but then he's, the Undertaker, but he's also doing the MMA stuff, and into this Undertaker. MVP helped Kennedy win by wiping off his head when he was bleeding, and then the Undertaker was bleeding, so, Kennedy wins. And then there's a sick chair shot by the Undertaker on Kennedy where it just folds up over his head, and
that was an awesome chair.
Yeah, it was. And Undertaker in this era was used a lot to build guys up, and Kennedy was one of those guys that really needed that rub, so it was good. And then Umaga, I guess it's Big Show's team. Test, MVP, Umaga, Finley, and the Big Show. Umanga. Versus Rob Van Dam, Sabu, Bobby Lashley, Kane, and John Cena. If that ain't a motley crew, I don't know what it is.
Oh my God.
Comes down to Cena and Lashley against the Big Show. The FU to the Big Show gets the win. And I always think it's funny where they make a big deal of John Cena doing the FU to Big Show as if he hadn't done it 20 times
God, I know.
that over the past few years. But whatever. I thought it was good. I mean, this era of Survivor Series matches I always thought were good. And then, what was the world title match?
Batista versus... I'm trying to think who's champion.
You don't remember, do you? King
Oh yeah, Booker T.
Yep. And this was supposed to be Batista's last chance to be champion as long as King Booker was the champion. Batista wins, and go back and watch. It's all downhill for Booker T at this point.
Yes.
He had just won the Champion of Champions match like the month before, but then he wrestles Kane at WrestleMania the next year.
Yes.
And then he wrestles Triple H at SummerSlam and goes to TNA.
Yep.
It's pretty much the end of Booker T after that. I think it was a good pick. But have you thought of what you're going to do next, or you got to think on what your next pick is going to be?
Let's do the DX stuff.
You want to do a little deep dive into 2006 DX?
Yes.
Okay.
Because hopefully by then I can get what I want to get.
Okay.
If not, then I'll pick something else.
Now, this might be self-indulgent, but I'm going to run down the list of the people from that pay-per-view that I have met. JBL, King and JR, Ric Flair, Sergeant Slaughter, and Ron Simmons. Arn Anderson, Kenny and Mikey from the Spirit Squad. Mickey James and Lita. The Hardys and Shawn Michaels. Gregory Helms, Johnny Nitro. Kelly and Melina. Mr. Kennedy. Now, this is from the one Survivor Series match. MVP, Finley, Rob Van Dam, Sabu, Lashley, and Kane. Out of John Cena's partners, John Cena's the only one that I've never met. So his entire team except for him. And King Booker. Met all of them. Spent a lot of money meeting all of them, but I've met all of them. One of these days I'll have to, like on our website or on Facebook, I'll just have to post a shitload of these pictures of people that I've met, because it's just... There was a point, and I'm sure I've mentioned this before, there was a point where I was going, with a former friend, I was going to like 2 or 3 shows a month, indie shows, and meeting, or autograph signings. And there was a point when Heroes Hideout was around,
yes.
We were going to them a lot. But, so what we have on the hard camera right now is the cage match for Forbidden Door. Now, Forbidden Door, AEW, I love AEW, but with the buy-in and the whole show, it was almost 6 hours. I can't imagine sitting in an arena for 6 hours watching wrestling. I can't imagine. I don't know how they do it. For one thing, my ass would be killing me from sitting in an arena chair. It doesn't when I go to an indie show, sitting in the chairs for, a couple hours.
Yes.
And the thing with an AEW show is I wouldn't want to get up and go anywhere because I'd want to watch the matches because their matches are really good.
Right.
But, just with their buy-in, I might. For the buy-in, Daniel Garcia versus Drilla Maloney. Drilla Maloney's from New Japan. Not a really good match. I'm not impressed with Maloney, but Maloney won. So, they did a Survival of the Fittest qualifier. This is the first time that a Ring of Honor Survival of the Fittest match would be in AEW. If you don't know what Survival of the Fittest match is, it's a tornado match with 6 women, and it's elimination. So you get the name Survival of the Fittest. Micah versus Sky Blue. Sky Blue was so good, especially with the Triangle of Madness with Julia Hart and Tekla. I think she deserves so much more. So does Julia Hart. But Micah won. And then Olympia from CMLL and Thunder Rosa versus Divine Dominion, Megan Bayne and Lena Cross. Great tag match. Divine Dominion retained the women's tag titles. And so that was the Forbidden Door. And Renee Paquette and Jeff Jarrett hosted that. I think Jeff Jarrett is a really good host for the pre-shows. I mean, the man's done everything. He knows the business really well, and he keeps up on the current product, not just of AEW, but everybody else. If you watch his recent interview with Chris Van Vliet, and he did win one with, I want to say Ari Emanuel, he knows his shit. Jeff Jarrett knows the business inside and out.
Speaking of Jeff, I'm excited about the new episode of Dark Side of the Ring. And it's going to be a 3-parter.
Yeah, it is on the first episode is on my DVR right now. It's 3 hours of Jeff Jarrett and TNA. And the whole saga of all that he did with TNA and the trials and tribulations in his personal life and in his business life. And I'm sure it's going to be really, really good. The first match of the actual show, though, the Young Bucks versus Shingo Takagi and Teton.
Try saying those 10 times fast.
Yeah, right. Nothing against the people from Japan, but their names are hard to say. I'm just saying. And against Mystico and Mascata Dorada, crazy frenetic match. Of course, the Young Bucks win. Just saying.
Super Kick Party.
Right. One of my favorite entrance themes. But Kenny Omega versus Zack Sabre Jr. was a great match. I'm still not a fan of Zack Sabre Jr. I don't get it. I don't get the World of Sport style. William Regal had the British style, but he seemed to be able to translate it to American wrestling. Just I don't get it with Zack Sabre Jr. Kenny Omega wins. The Continental title, Bandito versus Jon Moxley. Bandito got busted open, and Jon Moxley tried to shred Bandito's mask by, tearing the eye hole of it.
That's kind of a little bit overplayed if you think about it.
Both companies are doing that way too much.
If you watch a lot of AAA matches, especially mask versus mask, I think it's freaking hilarious that a lot of them completely rip the fucking mask off.
That's true. But they do the eye makeup and stuff, so you can't really, Bandito's a really good babyface. The crowd seems to really like him, and that's cool. But he gets choked out. Jon Moxley retains. Same old. Jon Moxley wins. He's turning into the Super Cena of AEW.
Yes.
He wins most of his matches and only, loses occasionally, and it's kind of funny. For the IWGP Global Champion, Shota Umino versus Pac. Good match. Umino retains. Pac's kind of just a guy in the Death Riders now. So it just is it was a whatever match. Some of the Forbidden Door matches are throwaways for me. But.
Yeah, at least you don't look like superhuman anymore.
No, that's Wheeler Yuta.
Oh yeah, is it Wheeler?
Yeah, it's Wheeler Yuta. Nobody cares about Wheeler Yuta anymore, anyways. This match I really liked. The women's title, Tekla versus Starlight Kid. Tekla had a really good entrance with women with flames, like spinning flaming sticks and stuff. It was actually really, really cool.
Nice.
First time seeing Starlight Kid. I've never watched a Stardom match, and I haven't had a chance to pick it up. I should. Tekla has a really good spear. Out of all the people that do spears in wrestling, Tekla has a really good one. She won with a stomp, and then she cut off Starlight Kid's mask, spit on it, and then slapped the owner of Stardom with the mask. So that was cool.
Speaking of awesome fucking mask, when we get to the match, we have to...
don't worry. I made a note about that. Don't you worry.
I fucking love it.
The tag titles, Cage and Cope, Adam Copeland and Christian Cage versus the Dogs, David Finlay and Clark Connors. Tag Psychology 101. Cutting off the ring. The heel runs around and pulls down the guy in the corner so they can't make the tag. Just it's such good stuff. But the lights go out and we got Juice Robinson on the table. The Bang Bang Gang shows up on their Lazy Susan where they spin around in the spotlight. And then the lights go out again and they hit the sound of the Switchblade. It's the return of Switchblade Jay White after over a year of being out. The crowd went fucking crazy. And I like Jay White. Didn't like him in Ring of Honor, but once he went to New Japan and got a persona and, was in the Bullet Club and all that stuff, really good. So I'm glad he's back. So Adam Copeland wins with a spear. So still tag team champions, Cage and Cope. The Owen Hart finals, Mercedes Moné versus Maya World. Mercedes wins, so she's the Owen champion. She's going to get a world title shot. Great showing by Maya World. I don't want to say this was a sympathy thing because her brother had just died weeks before getting hit by a car. So you're doing the human interest story, which is fine. And it was unpredictable for her to be in the finals, but it also kind of feels like when Eddie Guerrero died, Rey Mysterio becomes the world champion. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to denigrate, Maya World or anything. It just kind of has that feeling, whatever. And then the steel cage match. If Briscoe's team wins, he gets a title shot against MJF. The circle cage, said that looks cool. MJF, Kyle Fletcher, Andrade El Idolo, Jake Doyle, Kevin Knight, and Okada. Most of them being from the Don Callis family. Everybody except MJF. Versus Mark Briscoe, Darby Allin, Konosuke Takeshita, Roderick Strong, Orange Cassidy, and Kyle O'Reilly. Kyle O'Reilly brings a Nintendo out of his backpack. So
I fucking love it.
And they clotheslined Kyle Fletcher with the cord of the controller. Such good stuff. And this is the part we got to talk about. Thumbtacks out of the one of the other backpacks, Mark Briscoe's backpack.
Yes.
And MJF does a backdrop on Darby Allin. Darby Allin doesn't land on his back. What happens?
He landed straight face fucking first into thumbtacks.
Face first into the thumbtacks. He put his hands out to try to break his fall.
Oh!
And they went into his face and into his hands, and it looked gnarly.
And if you look closely, one of them right in the fucking end of your finger.
Yeah, he's a crazy man. And then Roderick Strong had brought out a big hockey bag, and he put it under the ring. The one that they pulled out from under the ring isn't the same hockey bag.
Yeah, it's not.
Out because who was in the hockey bag?
Oh, what the fuck is his name? I can't even remember.
Leo Rush.
Yes.
And I'm sorry, Roderick Strong's a strong dude, but he's not carrying Leo Rush in a hockey bag.
No.
From the backstage area all the way into the steel cage. It's just not happening. But Leo Rush is doing a character now where he says nonsensical things and he has black, I don't want to say blood, but stuff coming out of his with his teeth, and he has different colored
eyes.
Yeah, all the time. And he did an interview recently where he's in character, total character, and he basically says nothing through the entire, just repeats stuff. And it's kind of like when Matt Hardy was doing the Broken Matt Hardy. He went on Jericho's podcast and did not break character once. And that's total commitment. And Leo Rush is totally committed to this, and I love it. So he pretty much beat up everybody, and then they stuffed him back in the hockey bag, wrapped a chain around it, and slid him back under the ring, which was funny. So I like it when guys like that completely commit to the character. It's so good to see.
Oh, absolutely.
What else? Briscoe. This is why I have Mark Briscoe on a ladder. He did the thing where he puts the ladder over his head and does the spin like Terry Funk in ECW.
Yes.
Awesome.
We got to talk about the. With the hell is his name? Went to go grab the bag and right straight through the tables.
Oh yeah. Darby Allin climbed to the top of the cage and Kevin Knight followed him, and he opened up a bag, and it was a bag that Darby Allin had put at the top of the cage. Pyro goes off. Kevin Knight falls through the tables. You know, that's kind of a WWE kind of thing.
Yeah,
you know?
and then the fucking coffin drop was awesome off the top of the cage.
Yeah, it wasn't a really high cage like they had done before, but still, even doing a coffin drop onto people to the floor is still just fucking nuts. Andrade turned on the Don Callis family, had a shirt underneath his Don Callis shirt that said fuck MJF and fuck Don Callis, which, you know, is kind of funny because he wrestled the whole match as if he was part of their team, and then he turned on them.
Yes.
Whatever. And Briscoe pinned Jake Doyle, which out of everybody in that group, I'm not surprised that Jake Doyle was the one that he pinned. So
right,
nothing against Jake Doyle, but you know. And then the main event of the whole show, which we have on the hard camera right now, the Owen Hart Tournament Final, Will Ospreay versus Swerve Strickland, and you wanted to talk about Ospreay's entrance.
He came out looking like Bane from Batman, the Dark Knight Rises.
Yep, and he had the full Bane mask, and he had like smoke coming out of it.
Even the jacket too.
Yeah, and Swerve comes out like Lobo from the new Supergirl movie, complete with the motorcycle, so that's really cool.
Yes.
Well-paced match, both busted open at some points. There's a Styles clash through the desk, you know, the announce desk at one point. And then the Death Riders surround the ring towards the end. Will Ospreay hits a paradigm shift, a Death Rider, and the Tiger Driver and wins. So, of course, Will Ospreay going to Wembley Stadium to wrestle for the World Heavyweight title. So, it's going to be interesting going into Wembley. I think this was a match of the year candidate. I didn't want to go blow by blow, but watch Forbidden Door. Watch this main event. I mean, it's Will Ospreay, who's one of the best wrestlers in the world, against Swerve Strickland. Swerve, you know, went to AEW and really upped his game.
Oh,
not that he wasn't good in NXT, Lucha Underground, he was fucking spectacular when he was Killshot. But this match is just amazing. It would take forever to go through everything that happened in this match. I thought it was really, really good. I mean, my two favorite matches so far this year, Mask versus Mask, the El Grande Americanos from AAA.
Yes.
And this one. Definitely match of the year candidates. Absolutely. And I know a lot of people, you know, say AEW is just spot, and they don't tell stories. Bullshit. They told a story during this match. Absolutely. So let's get into.
Show me what you got.
You want me to start? All right.
Yes.
So I bought this. I found this at the Salvation Army, and I'm so glad I found it. I didn't get to.
Ooh.
Bruno Sammartino, the greatest sports legend, VHS. It's only a half an hour, and a lot of it is like video highlights, but it's also an interview. I remember him talking about this on Chris Jericho's podcast in 2013. He asked Jericho if he had heard of The Greatest Sports Legend, which was like a TV show where they interviewed, you know, sports legends. And Jericho said no, and he goes, well, I'm the only wrestler that they interviewed. So it's cool to find this. Like,
that is cool.
You know, I'm gonna put this with my display where I've got like the Bruno Sammartino action figure, and I'm gonna put this up, and the I think I have something signed by him. No, I got him in my encyclopedia, but I'm gonna try to find something else with Bruno and put it all as a display. but I watched it, and it's really good. This came out from a place that, from what I there was like a note in here that this came out from a salvage yard. And so I figured, oh man, the tape is going to be all fucked up. It's like going to be like mildew and stuff. But it was perfectly fine. It played great. So I'm really happy. The one thing, I mentioned this to somebody else. This video clearly shows how bad of a wig Bruno Sammartino had in his Afro years.
Oh.
You watch this interview with Bruno Sammartino, like look at the picture on the front. He's got straight hair.
Yeah.
This is like early in his career. And then when he's got like the Afro wig, if you can find this, like buy it on eBay or something and just watch this, or you can find it like on YouTube. I don't know if it's on YouTube or not.
We can find that out.
But the wig that he wears in the late 70s, early the 80s is just preposterous. It's horrible. But it's so funny to see. But it's a really good video. I'm really glad I have it for my collection. And then this, I went to a shop and I saw this.
That's awesome.
These are the original Jack Specific of the Sultan and his manager Bob Backlund,
AKA, who is that?
Rikishi.
Yes.
And it looks nothing like Bob Backlund, but I don't care because this is really cool to have. The random, mid-card characters, I love having action figures for those. And then they had this. This was,
yes.
I had the WCW Sting.
Somewhere we have that in the...
Yeah, it's in one of the things. But I wanted one for me. And then I had to buy another Triclops, original Masters of the Universe Triclops, and I bought the Battle Cat as well. I mean, it's the full Battle Cat with the
right, and that is everything. So fucking hard to find like that.
Yeah, it's got a little paint, on it from whatever. But nostalgia for me makes me happy. When I wake up and I can see Battle Cat on a shelf, it makes me happy. When I see my entire shelf of Hulk stuff, or the shelves that I'm making with all my wrestling figures, do stuff that makes you happy.
Yes.
I spend stuff on stuff that makes me happy.
Same.
And, so it's my life. I'm able to pay my bills. I buy stuff that makes me happy. But I had to get the Stone Cold Steve Austin with the baseball jersey and the Attitude Era belt. It's got the Build-A-Figure for Bob Backlund. I'm pretty much going to see if I can get a 3D head printed of Bob Backlund instead of buying the fucking Michelle McCool action figure, which people are jacking the price up on eBay because they know that's the only figure where you can get the Bob Backlund head.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
Yeah. Scalpers suck.
Yes,
people that go to Target and they buy a shitload of figures.
And they do the same thing at fucking Walmart.
Yeah. But this is the variant.
That's fucking awesome.
This is the Farouk variant with the purple tribal, African garb, so I had to get that. And
I will say this, I love what Rockstar fucking did to these scalpers for the physical fucking copy. I know people are pissed at the physical copy when you get it. It's a fucking digital code. Fuck that. It is fucking over these fucking scalpers.
Yeah. And then I don't have a lot of, the female figures. A really cool Elite Rhea Ripley.
I want to get the one off from Ringside Collectibles of her. Yeah. From the Survivor Series.
Right. I just like having, ones that we can show when we're talking about the events. I like having action figures that we can put on the table. And then these I saw today. I stopped at Walmart. I saw these today. These were ones I've been looking for. The variant of the Ultimate Warrior as Blanca, but it's blue. This is the attention to detail with Ultimate Warrior being Blanca from Street Fighter. Absolutely tremendous. And then this as well. Yokozuna as E Honda. This crossover is amazing. I mean, other than Dominic Mysterio being Ken, that's just fucking weird. I didn't buy that one, but feel the weight of that,
dude. That is
Yokozuna. That's really cool. And they come with accessories. I don't know what the accessories are going to be.
Oh, that's fucking cool. It says the finisher.
Yeah, to do the bonsai drop. Yeah, it's great.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so that makes me happy that I got that. What did you bring with you?
Show me what you got.
I know I showed this off before, but just because DX Raw vs. SmackDown 2009.
Yeah, that's really cool. I like that. This is when Jack Pacific was starting to get better with their figures.
Yes.
Sure. Especially Triple H. Like, they got his face pretty good in the action figures. What else you got?
My Pride and Joy from Alex.
Oh, is that signed by Kane Hodder?
No, this is...
Oh, okay.
What the fuck is his name?
Well, it doesn't really matter, but...
Yes.
But Jason Voorhees signed? That's really cool. That's really
from number 6. I gotta relook it back up again. I can't remember what the hell his name is.
Well, that's cool. That's really cool.
Then I paid a lot for this. I kind of wish I would have did it on eBay, but fuck it.
That's the badass Undertaker. That's Ministry of Darkness Undertaker.
Yes,
really cool.
When it first came out, I bought it. I got it. But the fucking box was damaged and everything. So it's like, yeah, fuck it. It's coming out of the box.
Mm-hmm.
Then years later, I finally found it where it's not damaged.
Right. No, that's good.
Then something that you gave me.
Yeah, the 2002 DDP. Yeah, that's a really good figure.
It's me. It's DDP.
Yep.
Then speaking of Jason, this is the final Jason movie.
That's the remake, right?
Nope, the final one.
Okay.
NECA does a great fucking job.
Yeah.
I can tell you that on their action
really
figures.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Then I'm happy that they're coming out with another Sting action figure from WCW from Ringside Collectibles. I don't know which one is the variant, but it's awesome. But I got the variant of the Blade Runner Sting.
That's really cool. Yeah, I like that a lot. AEW did some really good figures. The word is that what's the name? Jazzwares is not going to be doing AEW figures anymore.
Aw.
But I've heard that Hasbro might pick up the license, so that would be cool.
That would be cool. And they're making standalone action figures themselves with, and I want to get some of them. I want to know where to order them.
Right, so I'm hoping that they find a distributor. I mean, Tony Khan is a businessman. I mean,
yes.
His dad owns a fucking NFL team, so I don't know why he would have trouble finding a distributor to make action figures.
Right. Then we got Modern Day Undertaker.
Yeah, I don't like that one. I really don't. I don't. His face looks fucking weird on that, and I don't.
It was an impulse buy. I couldn't help it. Then, the Beast of the Resistance.
I bought one of those, the Vampiro, and it's got the Dark Carnival,
Yes.
Matt.
We wanted to show this in the box.
That's really cool, and it's got like the WSX title with it and stuff. And that's.
I think it would have been cool if he came with the JCW World Title.
Yeah, but I mean, $40 for those is kind of steep, but no, but it's really cool, and they need to work on the joints on these figures.
Yes, they do.
Shouldn't have to use like a heat gun or something just to get the fucking joints to move.
But you know what's fucked up is the one that I took out of the box. The paint on this side matches the other side.
Does it?
Yes.
That's funny.
I don't know if it does on yours, but this one is actually...
Yeah, I didn't really pay attention.
Which is why I kept this one in the box.
Right. Is that all you got?
Yes, it is.
Alright, so on the same weekend as all those other shows, they had TNA Slammiversary. On the countdown was Indy Hartwell versus Elena Black versus Mara Sade. Pretty quick match. Elena Black won. Tracy Brooks, one of the original knockouts, came out and announced a Knockout TV title tournament. I love seeing Vicky Venuto's name in the tournament brackets because I've met her at a ISPW show and she's really good. And then Eric Young against Ricky Sosa. A good match. I mean, Eric Young is always good. Ricky Sosa won. Eric Young is leaving TNA. I don't know if he'll go to WWE or AEW or what, but or if he'll just do indies. I don't know. They did a 10-bell salute for Joe Doring, former member of Violent by Design who succumbed to cancer.
And I'm so glad that we actually got to see him perform live.
Yeah, it was really cool. I'm glad that they did that for him, and a lot of the wrestlers wore armbands that said Joe on them, which was cool. Wrestlers are falling down.
Hey, wait, he's got him pinned. Count!
Yeah, they had an awesome opening video with current footage of TNA mixed with old footage from TNA. TNA does really good with that.
Fuck, they're not even giving me the name. I was trying to look it up.
The main show, the first match, Ultimate X for the X Division title. If you don't know what Ultimate X is, they have trusses on the corner posts. They put ring ropes, in an X above the ring, and they hang the title belt from that, and you have to skate, go across the ropes to get the title and bring it down.
I love Ultimate X. I also love, and they only done it twice, Elevation X.
I don't like Elevation X.
Aww.
I don't. I'm not big into scaffold matches, which is pretty much what it is. It's an interesting concept. I just don't like it. But I love Ultimate X.
If I can get TNA Plus, I want to talk about some TNA pay-per-views and
Well,
stuff.
fucking do it.
I gotta wait.
So the participants of the match, the Amazing Red, who's returning, TNA legend, versus Kazarian versus Fabian Eichner, Casey Navarro, Leon Slater, Mr. Elegance from the Elegance brand, and Cedric Alexander, who comes in as champion. Crazy match like all Ultimate X matches are. Leon Slater and Amazing Red were hanging, like upside down from the ropes. They both unhook the belt and, they hold it like they're going to drop down to the ground. Cedric Alexander runs across the ring, grabs the belt, and wins the match. So, it's just really cool. And after the match, Kazarian announces that Amazing Red is going into the TNA Hall of Fame.
Nice.
Awesome. I really enjoyed this next match, which I didn't expect going in. Elijah versus AJ Francis.
Ooh.
The stipulation was like AJ Francis owned like the likeness and catalog, the singing catalog of Elijah, and if Elijah won, he'd get that back. A guy named Expressions, I don't know who he is. I should Google it. He comes out trying to do his best Stokely Hathaway impression, and he does it badly. I'm just saying. Elijah calls AJ Francis no skill Uncle Phil, and he calls Expressions Jackass Jazzy Jeff, which was really funny. But it was an entertaining match. Elijah won and got back his catalog and his likeness. So
yay!
The Knockouts tag titles, Demon Bunny, which is Rosemary and Allie.
And we got to meet both of them.
Yep, versus the Elegance brand. Both great teams. Demon Bunny wins, new Knockouts tag champions. The international title, two mystery opponents for Mustafa Ali. Daria Baronato picks Rich Swann, and Santino's pick is Uhaa Nation. Now, if you don't know who Uhaa Nation is, that was Apollo Crews in WWE. Now, the amount of people that I have seen on like reaction videos of him debuting in TNA that say, oh, Uhaa Nation, that's a stupid name. Use fucking Google. He used that name on the indies before he was ever Apollo Crews, and that was the name that he used when he got national attention and led to him being in WWE.
Really?
It's really not that hard.
No.
The amount of influencers and so-called wrestling fans that don't know fuck all about anything other than WWE,
right?
Is fucking astonishing.
Well, look at the fucking thing I sent you where the one guy, his comment, I'm surprised that Mick Foley only won the titles in WWE.
Yeah.
Motherfucker, he was TNA World Champion.
Yep. Yeah, it's just stupid. The match of the night so far, in my opinion, Mustafa Ali retained. Eddie Edwards versus Moose, no surrender match. Basically, the person on the outside throws in the towel to signal the end of the match. Alicia Edwards for Eddie Edwards and JDC for Moose.
Such a great one was Bret Hart versus it wasn't British. Who the fuck was it?
Bob Backlund.
Yes, Bob Backlund for the world title.
British Bulldog was in Bret Hart's corner.
Yep.
Owen Hart was in Bob Backlund's corner. Yes,
And
really good.
Freaking classic Owen Hart heel.
Yeah, gets his mother and his father to throw in the towel, and then he stays a heel afterwards.
Yes.
But it was a good match. Moose gets zip tied to the ropes, and Eddie Edwards pushes down Moose's wife, and then drags Moose's son into the ring. Moose's son hits a low blow on Eddie Edwards. Moose wins, and then he spears both Eddie Edwards and Alicia through a table, so that was pretty cool. The Knockouts title, Lei Ying Lee versus Zaya Brookside. I'm sorry, I skipped this match.
Oops.
Zaya Brookside won the title, so that's pretty cool. Ladder match for the tag team titles. Brian Myers and Bear Bronson of the System versus the Great Hands versus the Righteous versus the Hardy Boys. They did 4 tables stacked, one on top of another. Typical the Hardys are going to stack tables.
Yes.
The Righteous bring out a ladder painted white with flowers and barbed wire wrapped around it. Dutch from the Righteous and Bear Bronson end up going through the tables off the ladder. Jeff Hardy hits a swanton through the ladder on the floor. No surprise there.
As Matt calls them, croutons.
Yeah, and the Hardys win the tag titles. And then the main event for the TNA title, Nick Nemeth versus Santana. That's right, I finally put Santana on the table. Back and forth, good title match. Nick Nemeth wins, new champion. Santana's contract is up mid-July. I wouldn't be surprised if he's WWE bound. Or NXT, they did stuff with him in NXT. Before, so it wouldn't surprise me. Before I get to the end, you got anything you want to, video game-wise, or anything you want to talk about?
Mostly that I pre-ordered GTA 6.
That's cool. Where is it going to be set? Is it going to be set in Vice City? Is it? That's cool.
Yes, absolutely Vice City.
Okay, that's cool. That's one that I probably will play, just because the hype for it has been crazy.
Definitely freaking crazy.
Yeah, so I probably will. But we're not going to do a table this year, but Zombie Hideout and Captain's Corner are going to be doing the Wrestling Classic. They're going to be doing it a little different this year. It's going to be free admission at Zombie Hideout, 362 Cooley Street in Springfield, Massachusetts. And Saturday, October 24th, there's going to be vendors and there's going to be meet and greets. They've announced Gail Kim, they announced Tito Santana, and then they announced Lillian Garcia, which makes me really happy. I've always wanted to meet her. That's really, really cool. And then they announced one that I think is badass. They announced Heidenreich.
Yes!
He just did an interview with Chris Van Vliet that's really interesting. And to know that he's going to be there is really, really cool. So
He's definitely looking his age, though.
Yeah, he hasn't aged well, but it's going to be cool to meet Heidenreich, get him in my encyclopedia. So check out Zombie Hideout, and they announce people every Thursday. I don't know how many they're going to announce, because it's going to be in their store, so I don't know how they're going to set it up. But
the biggest one I want to meet has to be Lillian.
Yeah, that's really cool. I mean, you want to talk about starting in the Attitude Era and going all the way till now. She still does the announcing for Saturday night's main event, so that's a really good add to it. And I mean, I want to get a picture with Tito Santana, because the only other one I have is with my former friend with Tito, so I want to get that. So we'll definitely be going there. We usually do a table at that, but I want to go as just a fan this time. There's only so many times you can go to the same venue and get a table and see the same people coming to your table every year. So, and then another thing I want to mention: Elite Wrestling Collectibles on Instagram. If you want a Hasbro style figure they're 3D printed, but they have magnetic arms and legs, so they lock on and you can customize and all that. Check out Elite Wrestling Elite Wrestling Collectibles on Instagram. He also has, if you have the Target classic blue cage setup and you want WWF logo turnbuckles to go on it with ring ropes, go to your Elite Wrestling Collectibles. He has a conversion kit for that. I'm going to order one. You paint, you have to paint it, but it has the WWF logo, so it makes your classic blue cage look amazing. It's a really cool conversion kit. Definitely need to check it out. Some of the names that I just from scrolling through that he does: Mr. Fuji, Jim Cornette, Stan Hansen, the Old School Kane, Greg Valentine, Vader, Jim Neidhart, Paul Bearer, Iron Mike Sharp, one of the jobbers back in the day, Harley Race with like the chops, like the sideburns, RVD, Jerry Lawler, Andre the Giant. I mean, that's just to name a few. So search up Elite Wrestling Collectibles on Instagram. You'll find awesome Hasbros that you can customize, and they're just really badass. And the quality, the faces look amazing. I mean, you're not going to get a face on a Hasbro that looks any better than what Elite Wrestling Collectibles does. So definitely check them out. At Cheap Pop Show on social media. cheappop.redbubble.com for
merchandising.
Yeah, check out our Facebook, check out our X, cheappopshow.com. Like, subscribe, comment. Thank you so much for checking out the show. And go ahead.
Pop guys out.